Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and you're all very welcome to the Bloomfield Hotel here in Mullingar for the AIMS AGM 2023. Thank you all for being here in attendance, and thank you all to those who are watching us online via the video link. I want to say a massive thank you to Vinnie Osborne, who's looking after all the technicals. We have William Lacey on camera, and Fiona Sheeran is monitoring the online people. So if there are questions later on, type in your question to Fiona and she will bring it to the meeting. And if anyone in the hall has a question for the meeting, please let us know and we'll ask you to stand up. We'll get a mic to you, and we'd ask you, even though you're addressing the meeting, to turn and face the camera just so everybody can see. Okay?
And there's a show title there somewhere. Stand up, baby, stand up.
Yeah. So just to get us started. Apologies now. We would like to, one of our members can't be here today, Billy Holmes, who is unwell, and we send him best wishes, and I'm sure he's watching in online. And again, just to start the meeting, we express our deepest sympathy to all of those who've lost a loved one in the course of the past year. We remember especially former National Councillor and Regional Secretary and member of the Western Region in Galway MS, Carl Doherty, and Jonathan McKenna, member of the Eastern Region Committee, Malahide MES, and Susan Conneen of Nina Society, who just passed away sadly yesterday. And Maureen Heffernan's brother, who obviously passed away recently as well, and Maureen, our National Registrar. And all the societies who have lost a loved one and valued member during the past year, they're in our thoughts and prayers, and may they all rest in peace. And we just ask if people would just observe a minute's silence just in their memory, please. Okay, thank you everybody, and apologies, I forgot Mikey Flynn's dad, who passed away recently as well. Now back to our agenda for the afternoon. We'll start off with apologies, so I'll ask Frank to look after that, please.
So we have quite a number of apologies, and I won't list them all out, as noted with the National Registrar, and if there's any other apologies, if you could give them to Maureen. Maureen, where's Maureen? There, if there's any other apologies, if you pass them on to Maureen for the minutes. The next item on the agenda then is the minutes of the 2022 AGM, and I'll scoot through those quickly. So number one item on the agenda was the apologies listed with Maureen Heffernan, the National Registrar, and there was a number of others taken from the floor. The AGM was held on the 30th of January in the Lucan Spa Hotel in Lucan online. The National President called for a minute's silence for those we had lost during the year. The minutes of the AGM 2021 were read and proposed and seconded by Brian O'Neill and Mary Smith. The Secretary's report for the year was read and proposed and seconded by Maggie Flynn and Jerry Sweeney. Treasurer's report was presented by National Treasurer Moira Nolan. Administration costs way down. Choral Festival, €1,158 of profit, but grant received from Wexford County Council. Some advertising income given to regions, and it was proposed by Colm Moles and Mo McMahon. President's address, Rob Donnelly, Evermore Musical Society and National President, outlined that it was a great honour to be president of AIMS. He talked about the friendships made, even during COVID, that AIMS kept soaring and afloat and bringing people together. Rob mentioned specifically the AIMS Virtually Together as an example of how we could bring societies together even during a calamity and online, and the great camaraderie that ensured. Rob praised and thanked the work being done by National Executive and National Council. And sincere thanks were offered to Maureen Keohane, who is retiring as Adjudication Liaison of Sullivan. Thanks were also offered to Laura Ryan, Adjudication Liaison in Gilbert, for all their hard work. Birthday wishes to Billy Holmes and Kilkenny Musical Society. Rob then outlined how pleased everyone was with the new support from Dáil Éireann and thanked Senator Malcolm Byrne, Gorey Musical Society, for all his support and facilitating various meetings with the Dáil Department of Arts, Culture and Media Subcommittee. We're delighted with the Arts Council funding for a mentoring programme and our own youth summer school. Another meeting was being organised with Niall Doyle, Head of Music and Opera in the Arts Council. Rob welcomed societies who are getting back into rehearsals after COVID and others still waiting patiently to start. The dates were given for the Choral Festival in New Ross and the Youth Summer School 2022. Thanks were expressed to National PRO Kate Furlong for all her hard work on social media and Martin McNeil's on website. And the cut-off dates for adjudication was noted as Friday the 3rd of June for this season, a little bit later than usual to allow as many shows as possible be adjudicated in the last season. The awards weekend was back in the Gleneagle Hotel the 17th to 19th of June. And well done to Fiona Sheeran, administrator of the awards weekend, for all her hard work on this. Rob also commented on the standard of shows that audiences were seeing and that it was huge and of West End standards. Best wishes were sent to the National President of NODA, Gordon Richardson, on his new appointment. Rob, in finishing, thanked his own society, Avonmore Musical Society, for being part of something so good and positive and the lasting friendships that had been formed. Rob said he was eternally grateful for this and encouraged all societies during these tough times to keep looking after each other. Our mental health is so important. Keep the music in our hearts. Rob finished his address to warm applause and waves online. Item number 7, all national officers were re-elected to their positions, and please see the various nomination forms from societies for those who nominated them. Item number 8, the re-election of the auditors McFeely and McKiernan, and this was proposed by National Treasurer Moira Nolan and seconded by Fergal Kavanagh. Venue for the 2023 AGM decided to go with the Bluefield House Hotel in Mullingar in the Midlands, as it had been cancelled this year, but to look at prices mentioned on Zoom by Arthur Rainbow and Adam Trundle. AOB, Brandon Cogley, editor of Showtimes, announced the next editions of Showtimes. Lizzie Heffernan, Choral Festival administrator, gave some details of Choral Festival and the dates and the importance of getting more societies involved in the Musical Society Cameo competition and the Musicals competition C. Fergal Kavanagh went through the new insurance cover and that will also cover societies in Northern Ireland. The theme for the awards weekend was announced as Being Alive, a celebration of Stephen Sondheim. Mikey Flynn, Kim's, asked about the celebration of 2022 as a series of celebrations across the regions. Mo McMahon stated that this was a very sensitive topic and maybe something AIM should not involve itself in. Adam Trundle, Newbridge, asked, are we sitting on a reserve and how could that be best spent for societies, and emphasised transparency around funding. David Hennessy, in relation to a workshop held in Waterford, a diversity inclusion workshop, stated that it was vital to have more workshops around this theme of diversity and inclusion. And it was stated that the one in Waterford, nobody took a fee for their work on this workshop. The meeting concluded its business at 4:10 p.m.
Okay, thanks, okay. Thanks, Frank. Yeah, is that okay with everybody? Yeah. Do we need a proposer for it?
Yeah,
can we get a proposer and a seconder for Nolan Kelly and Brian O'Neill? Okay. Thanks, Frank. And so the next item on the agenda is the report of the National Council for the year ended 30th of September 2022. I'll let Frank look after that as well.
Copy there.
Nothing happening here, guys.
Yeah, that's-
Invite them all.
Please, I've never shown them bending.
You'd never see this on the telly. Yeah.
Now, the AIMS National Secretary's report for the season 2022 to 2023. The 2022 AGM was a hybrid meeting with some of the national councillors and executive present in the Lucan Spa Hotel and society members joining remotely due to COVID-19 restrictions, and again hosted by the Eastern Region. The AGM re-elected National President Robert Donnelly, South Eastern Region, as President for the new season, and Fergal Kavanagh, Western Region, was re-elected as Vice President. A motion had been passed by the previous AGM to extend the tenure of the President and Vice President by another year due to the effect of COVID-19 on the activities of the organisation. It was decided to extend the motion for another season to keep numbers of regional councils as is for a further season. Robert thanked all those present with another healthy attendance for the AGM for their support during these difficult times. We will see better times and full houses again. Robert thanked the National Executive Council for all their hard work and efforts on the part of the organisation for our member societies. The National President thanked the members of his own society, Avonmore Musical Society, for all their support, and without this he would not have been able to carry out the role of President. The councillors that were elected for 2021-22, Eastern Region, Frank Foley, Kate Furlong, Maureen Heffernan, Nolan Kelly, Catherine Lamb, Moira Nolan, Brian O'Neill, Fiona Sheeran. Northern, Angela Cunningham, Brendan Keohane, Garrett McGreevy, Olive Melville and Gary Redpath. Midlands, Francis Leahy, Alton Keena, Jerry Sweeney. South East, Jamie Collins, Colin Moles, Rob Donnelly, Catherine Walsh. South West, Niamh Chadwick, Margaret McGee, Seamus Power, Laura Ryan, Mary Smith, Martin McNeilis. Western, Annette Kavanagh, Fergal Kavanagh, Clodagh Farrell and Eve Kelly-Smith. Co-options, Showtimes, Brandon Cogley. Insurance Scheme, Billy Holmes. Choral Festival Administrator, Lizzie Heffernan. Programme Adjudication Coordinator, Maureen Keohane. The executive, consisting of the officers and chairperson of any region not represented by officers, met every month and sometimes twice a month on Zoom and continued to take on the day-to-day running of the association, and members of the National Council met every second month looking to the future of the organisation. It would be remiss not to mention the retirement of National Councillor, former President of AIMS 1972 to 1973 for the Eastern Region, Brian O'Neill, after 55 years, and we wish him well on his retirement. Society membership for the last season. Eastern 34 member societies and 1 junior member, Midlands 7, Northern Region 18 societies, South East 15 plus 1 junior, Southwest 20, Western 17, and that was a total of 111 member societies and 2 junior societies. COVID-19 and its implications. Again, we had the impact of COVID-19 on the island and all voluntary organisations, not only those involved in the arts, being closed down and theatres remaining closed. It did look a bit like endgame for societies across the island, but as always, there's no people like show people. They smile when they're in low. With that usual resilience and showmanship, societies found various resourceful ways to keep the lights on and companies together during the lockdown, from bake-offs to virtual dance workshops, and some societies managing at long last to stage a show later in the season against the odds. Adjudication and awards scheme. We had the appointment of 2 new adjudicators for the adjudication scheme. Alan Hazlitt, with a wealth of experience as an actor, director and adjudicator, a member of the Irish Association of Drama and Adjudicators and the Guild of Drama and Adjudicators in the UK, in Gilbert, and Suzanne O'Leary, owner and artistic director of Wexford School of Ballet and Performing Arts, Sullivan. They adjudicated following government guidelines 26 shows in Gilbert and 16 shows in Sullivan for the season 2021 to 2022. We had the announcement of the nominations through Zoom on June the 5th, 2022. We also had the appointment of 2 new programme adjudicators for each of the tiers, Gilbert and Sullivan, respectively John Grayton and Brian Gunning. 2 new adjudicators were appointed later on for the new season for 2022-23, Tony McLaren-Fay in Gilbert and Peter Kennedy in Sullivan, who are currently still touring the country. Sincere thanks to the 2 adjudication liaison officers, Laura Ryan Gilbert and Clodagh Farrell in Sullivan, for all their hard work and patience during a very difficult year. Maureen Keohane continued with her work, helping gather programmes for the programme adjudication during the year. We had the extension of the show year to early June and the announcement of limited nominations again online on the 5th of June 2022. Awards weekend. With a welcome pep in our step, we looked forward to our return to the Kingdom and Gleneagle and the INEC in Killarney for the 17th to the 19th of June 2022. There was 530 full weekenders and 770 sitting down for the banquet and the announcement of the Ames Awards on the Saturday night. Sincere thanks to the wonderful and hard-working staff in the INEC and Gleneagle for such a successful weekend, to our technical team led by Vinnie Osborne, who again fated us with a musical theatre answer to Cirque du Soleil, to all the national councillors who again put shoulders to the proverbial wheel, and to the awards weekend coordinator Fiona Sheeran for her coordination of all those moving parts. Again, an outstanding success. Congratulations to the winners, Ulster Operatic Company with West Side Story for gaining first place in the Gilbert section, and Nine Arch Musical Society Clare Galway with Little Shop of Horrors for their first place in the Sullivan section. Choral Festival. The Ames Choral Festival was staged again in May with 64 young soloists taking part and 21 choirs entered on the Friday, and 40 choirs and member musical societies taking part in the competitions on the Sunday. A welcome diversion and a great success in the post-COVID climate. Sincere thanks to the Choral Festival Subcommittee and its administrator Lizzie Heffernan for their hard work with this project. Thanks to Wexford County Council for their financial support for the Choral Festival. Sponsorship, grant funding and the Arts Council. Again, during this season, we found ourselves without a main sponsor. As mentioned in last year's Secretary's report, meetings had been held with the Arts Council regarding access to some government funding for the organisation and its various activities. This came to fruition with a lot of hard work and graft by members of the National Executive. National Vice President Fergal Kavanagh and National Secretary Frank Foley, and a grant coming through around mentoring societies within the adjudication scheme and the extension of the Youth Summer School held every summer in the Ursuline and Thurles. More details regarding the scheme in the next few months. Notice had been sent to societies of funding being available for workshops and development for members. A small number of societies had been in contact regarding this with National Secretary Frank Foley. For further details, please contact the National Secretary. The funding received from the Arts Council will also help with achieving improving standards for the audiences of local musical theatre. Also, various regions received grant funding from their local city and county councils for their various activities. It is with regret that we see the winding up of Feroce Éireann, which was a valuable source of small funding for various activities within Ames, including various workshops within the region, our own choral festival, our youth summer school, and the maintenance of our old library. Sincere thanks to all the reps who attended meetings over the last 50 years, including current reps Frank Foley, National Secretary, and Mary Mullen, former National President. National President Rob Donnelly and National Secretary Frank Foley represented Ames at a meeting of the Joint Committee on Tourism, Culture, Arts, Sport and Media in Dáil Éireann on the 27th of September 2022. on the theme of the future of musical theatre education in Ireland, with a panel including Deirdre Masterson of the American College, Deborah Kelleher, Director of the RIAM, the Royal Irish Academy of Music, and the Phantom himself making an appearance all the way from London, Cillian Donnelly, on a Zoom link. A good discussion and a Q&A took place after the presentations. On a local regional level, the National Council would encourage all local societies to get involved with their local PPN, the Public Participation Network, with their local authorities to get up-to-date details on various funding and grant opportunities available to societies. Bursaries. National Council decided once again to proceed with the Ames bursary at this season, and sincere thanks to the O'Neill family for continuing with their family bursary in honour of the late Anne. The auditions for these bursaries were again held virtually, and thanks to the interview panel, Derek O'Neill, Laura Ryan and Shane Farrell, with National President Rob Donnelly for their help and expertise on this. Thanks to Brian O'Neill for his help in the organisation on the day. Winner of the Anne O'Neill bursary was Rachel Gahan, nominated by Galway University Musical Society. And the winners of the Ames bursaries was Grace Sheedsgreen, involved with Nina Choral Society, and a second Ames bursary was awarded to Hannah Devereux, Wexford Light Opera Society. Best of luck to them in their future studies and careers. Also, a sincere thanks to Deirdre Masterson and the American College for the provision of a bursary for their musical theatre course, and congratulations to Owen Mullins, the fourth recipient of this prestigious bursary. Website and social media. Martin McNeill, Southwestern Region, continued as website admin and was instrumental in the work behind improving traffic to our website. Site sessions 7563 up 544% on previous years. Visitors up 558%. We would encourage member societies to update their own information on the site and use the site for advertising their upcoming shows. Ames' presence on Facebook and Twitter has increased through advertising of our members' shows and events, and thanks to Kate Furlong, our national PRO, for her Trojan work on this and spreading, as usual, positive musical vibes. Child protection and vetting. This continued to be a valuable service to all societies, and Ames are still organising Garda vetting procedures for societies at a small charge. Numbers using this service this season was affected by COVID, but include 132 applications processed from 17 societies, increased from the previous year. Sincere thanks to Fergal Kavanagh, Western Region and National Vice President, for all his work on this. Showtimes. Showtimes continues to hold it in financial terms, but it still continues to lack contributions from member societies, becoming even more difficult through the lack of shows and activities within societies, and the number of copies in circulation in print is decreasing, but the electronic copies continue to grow. Sincere thanks to editor Brandon Cogley for all his hard work at Showtimes. Many thanks to those who gave technical support to Showtimes, and great credit is due to Richard Lavery, St Agnes's, for his help on this. Also thanks to Mary Smith, who looks after circulation and also ensures that those who advertise pay up. The source of advertising continues to shrink, but hopefully with the increased electronic circulation, new avenues of advertising will be tapped in the next season. Former National President Seamus Power, Carrigan Shore Musical Society, was appointed as commercial manager, and thanks to his work on sourcing advertising during these barren times financially. COVID-19 has had an effect on articles and events, so the Council had decided to decrease the number of editions during the last season, and hopefully this will return to normal as more shows come on stream. Nearly there. The insurance scheme. The numbers changing to our very competitive insurance scheme had slightly increased before the onslaught of COVID-19. At this stage, many societies have paused all activities and will reactivate insurance when needed during the year. We changed our brokers and group policy to Brady Insurance Event Insurer, and you will need your AIMS registration number available from National Registrar Maureen Heffernan, and the contact detail is Mary Burns, and they were given. Sympathies. We express our deepest sympathy to all those who have lost a loved one in the course of the last season. We remember especially former National Councillor and Regional Secretary, Western Region and Galway Musical Society, Carl Doherty, and Jonathan McKenna, member of Eastern Region Committee from Malahide Musical Society. And to all our societies who have lost a loved and valuable member during the past season. They remain and are constantly in our thoughts and prayers. May they all rest in peace. The Secretary's report for January 2023.
Thanks, Frank. That's a very comprehensive list of the workings that we've done for the past year. So thanks very much, Frank, for that. So the
Proposer and seconder
do we need
for
a,
that then,
yeah, so we need a proposer and seconder for Colin and Annette.
Okay.
Sorry, Seamus. Okay, so the next item on the agenda. Oh, all right. Will it hold on for a sec? Yeah, just for a minute. Yeah, just bear with us for once. Little gremlins. Oh yes, yeah. The next item on the agenda is the financial statement for the year ended 30th of September 2022, and I'll hand you over to our Treasurer and National Treasure, Myra Nolan.
Thanks, Rob. It's been an extraordinary year, I must say, with regards to the finances. I've been involved on council since the early 80s, and we've sent in numerous applications to the Arts Council. And at the end of December last year, 100,000 came into the bank account. So I probably should have taken flight then. But it was absolutely, I must say, and a lot of work went into it by the National Executive. And hopefully this will continue over the next 20, 30 years, we hope. So everybody got a copy. You all got copies of the statement? The member subscriptions went up because the previous year we charged €50 instead of the 80. And some, so that's why that in the miscellaneous income, we had Garda vetting of €650, and we had a balance from the Department of Education of 1,320, which came in, some of it came in last year, and that's the balance. On the Arts Council, out of the 100,000, there was a pro rata figure based on 42 societies. Originally, it was supposed to be on a full year of members taking part in the adjudication scheme, but obviously with COVID and that, there was only 42 societies. So out of this, at the moment, we've done a pro rata of 44,426, and the balance income. On the administration was up, and this was because the President was now back on the road again, travelling around the country.
Some there too.
Yeah, it's not as high as it normally would be. Would be higher, and then the audit fee. So then we come down to the expenses on the adjudication and awards. We had a loss of 31,727. The Choral Festival had a profit of 3,799, and they got a grant from Wexford County Council of 3,300. The awards weekend made a profit of 37,669. But both of them really are one unit, so if you take one from the other, there was actually a profit of 5,942 for the year. Then we had the youth summer school had a loss because we reduced the fee paid that the students had to pay because of the Arts Council grant coming in. On the regions, the Eastern region had a grant from, what's it, Cultural?
Dublin City Council.
Dublin City Council, thanks. And with expense in that, we came in with a profit of 1,013. South East just had bank charges, they had no income, so that was a loss. The South West had some income in that we weren't able to pay them from council previous year because they were changing bank accounts, so they had a profit of 172. And the Western region, bank charges 20, so that's of a loss. So taking all that down, the surplus for the year was 39,855. But on the activities, we had a loss of 4,571. So that's, if you take that from the 44, that brings it down to the 39,855. Now, on the other side, a couple of years ago, I think we may have mentioned that we were going to give up our charity number. So the charity number, the auditors were working on that, and with backwards and forwards when it was originally set up back in the 80s, I think it probably was, the revenue gave us the charity number. But obviously now there's actually a charities regulator. And with that comes a lot of reporting and all of that sort of thing and checking of stuff. And the auditors felt our activities weren't really a charity. You know, back in the days, people were able to get charity numbers. But only within the last 3 weeks maybe, we had a meeting with them, and they came back and said that the charities regulator, that revenue had no problem with giving up the number, but the charities regulator said if we wanted to give it up, we would have to hand over all our reserves, and it would go to another charity. We could not take that forward. So, of course, needless to say, we couldn't give up the charity number now. So we're still a charity, and that's going to bring onerous reporting and auditing. The public money from the Arts Council, which we've got the 100,000 for first, we get the balance of the 25 when we've spent the 100,000. It's going to be a massive audit. And that's the way it's going, and will also cost money. So we could be talking around 8,000 to 10,000 for auditing fees. But they literally, the charities regulator they can come in at any stage to go through your books. It's just because of all that happened with some of the charities that where all the fraud was going on. So, you know, an ordinary audit is fine, but this is you know, like going into a surgeon, you're sitting across from them, you know. Yeah, it's going to bring a lot of work, but I think it'll be worth it because of the funding we're going to have, and hope, you know, that we will be able to help societies. So on the balance sheet, the bank account 229,769, less creditors accruals and deferred income 79,785. So our net assets are 149,884, but a portion of that obviously is the deferred income from the Arts Council. So the bottom line is 149,983. So I think that's it, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Is anyone any questions for Myra on the financial statement?
Sorry, Robbie, I must say, actually, because of all the changes with the Arts Council and that, the accounts are just in draft form at the moment. So we will be approving it on that when the auditors are actually completely finished with it. Okay.
Is that okay? Is everyone okay with that? Yeah, okay. Can we have a proposer for the Brian O'Neill and Jerry Sweeney? Okay, thanks, lads. Sorry, Nolan. Sorry, apologies, Nolan.
On behalf of everybody here, to thank Flora Nolan as treasurer, because it has been a very difficult year for her, and not for her own.
Oh yeah, sorry, Nolan. Can you just hold on? Just get you the mic. Sorry. Aye.
We want to hear your dulcet tone.
On behalf of everybody here, can I just thank Maura Nolan for a fantastic job that she's done with the accounts this year. It's been a difficult year. It's been pushed on her, and it's been difficult. So she's a marvellous woman. She's here all those years, and just thank you from everybody here. You're fantastic.
Thank you, Nolan, but I love it.
I'll remind you about that.
But I just want to say, and this is taken away from this statement, but I'm going to miss Brian O'Neill. I really am going to miss him. He's been on there 55 years. I'm a little bit behind him, but we... Okay.
Right. Thanks, Moira. Okay, next item on the agenda is the President's address to the members. So, yeah, just bear with me. This is, I said, this is well, it'll be the last time you'll be listening to me, so you just have to put up with me for a few minutes. Yeah, so just say again, good afternoon, everyone. And I'm sitting here in front of you all today again as in the Bloomfield Hotel as the National President of AIMS, the Association of Irish Musical Societies. And I said it never gets easier saying that, the National President of AIMS. Like, obviously, of course, it's easy to say it, but it's still so hard to believe what an honour was bestowed on me in the Connacht Hotel in Galway on the 26th of January 2020, and what it would mean, and the following journey. And for the last 1,099 days, 3 years and 4 days, not that I was counting, I've held the title of National President of AIMS. The term of office normally for the National President is 2 years, but thanks to a proposal to the AGM in 2021 by previous AIMS President Seamus Power, I was given an extra year, and I'll never be able to explain how much that last 12 months has meant. But as I said a minute ago, now I address you for the very last time, and I'm probably going to repeat some of the stuff that Frank said in that very extensive report, but just please bear with me. At the end of 2021, COVID still had a firm grip on the country, and 2022 wasn't looking like it was going to be a good year for us. But around the middle of January last year, we got the great news that restrictions were being lifted and we could get back on stage. So my first show back on the road was Gums, Carry, and at the start of February. And in order to allow as many societies back on stage and to enable more into our adjudication scheme, we extended the season up to the 3rd of June for Athlon's production of All Shook Up. Then we went off to Killarney in June and announced the award winners in the INEC at the most spectacular ball. And it was lovely to stand up on that stage as National President, something that I thought wouldn't happen because of COVID. And I was so honoured and proud to have my own society, Avonmore, open the award ceremony on the night. A big thanks to Vinnie Osborne and all his amazing AIMS team for another magnificent spectacle. And to the lady who's the boss in Killarney, our award weekend administrator, Fiona Sheeran, thanks so much for making sure we all get beds and fed for the weekend. So it's much appreciated. I'd also like to thank, on behalf of AIMS, Mr. Patrick O'Donoghue, owner of the Glen Eagle Hotel, and his family for their constant support to AIMS over the years that we've been there, and to Breffney Ingerton for all she does to make sure AIMS that are well taken care of. And again, as Frank said, congratulations to Ulster Operatic with West Side Story for first place in Gilbert, and Nine Arch Musical Society Clare Galway with Little Shop for their first place in the Sullivan section, of which the Vice President, Mr. Fergal Kavanagh, is a proud member. Even though the 2021-22 season finished on the 3rd of June, I was back on the road to show number 1 of the 22-23 season with adjudicator Peter Kennedy, which was Bosco's Newry Suskill on the 10th of June, which was even before the awards. And Tony McLean Fay started in Gilbert in August with The Little Mermaid with Twin Productions. And again, we have John Graydon and Brian Gunning adjudicating our programmes. And we hope to have, thankfully, about 100 or even over 100 shows adjudicated this year, which is absolutely fantastic. We had the AIMS Summer School back last July in Thurles with 65 people taking part, and a great week was had by all, and I had the pleasure of spending 2 days down there. And I'd like to say a big thanks to the summer school team of Director Peter Kennedy, Musical Director Shane Farrell, and Choreographer Stephanie Brown. And a massive thanks to Sister Bernadette and the community of the Ursuline Secondary School, and Mary Butler and Maureen Heffernan and all the team who give up their summer holidays each year to chaperone in Thurles. It's so much appreciated. The dates for this year, summer school, will be the 2nd to the 7th of July. And like last year, due to the Arts Council funding, we'll be able to give 2 half bursaries to each region each region. Yeah, we'll be able to give 2 half bursaries. I'd like to say a massive thanks to Deirdre Masterson from the American College Dublin, not just for the provision of the bursary for our musical theatre course each year for the past 4 years, but especially for all our kindness, help, friendship and support to me during my presidency. As Frank said, at the end of 2021, we were delighted to finally achieve recognition for musical theatre as an art form in its own right, and to receive funding from the Arts Council towards our mentoring stroke adjudication scheme and our summer schools and workshops. Now, this was a pilot scheme that came in during COVID, where the government was just throwing money at everybody to keep everyone happy and to appreciate what we were missing. And unfortunately, because of COVID, we weren't able to finish the scheme, but hopefully with the Arts Council approval, we're going to extend it to the end of this season, right up to this year's summer school, which will allow us to use the funding for a year and a half instead of the original year. We were delighted to have Niall Doyle from the Arts Council address National Council yesterday. And Niall spoke to us, obviously, as now that musical theatre is being recognised as an arts form in its own right, the Arts Council and government are looking at a development organisation for the musical theatre sector in Ireland, and they would like AIMS to be that body that looks after musical theatre. And this would involve the possible professionalisation in some extent of AIMS, whilst mostly and vitally importantly retaining the very important volunteer aspect that runs the organisation. And this is something exciting and scary, but it's something that we're going to explore very seriously and very in depth, and we will keep you up to date with every step of that journey. Today's AGM is the end of our working weekend for National Council here in Mullingar, and where we plan for the year ahead. We've about 30 councillors on National Council, with the executive, some of them sitting here beside me, consisting of the President, Vice President, Secretary, Treasurer, PRO, Registrar and the Chairpersons of each region. And we as a council are here to work for you on your behalf, and that is for all members of AIMS, to help grow, nurture and improve the world of musical theatre in Ireland. We coordinate and run the many activities and services of AIMS, and we work with our sister organisation NODA in the UK, where we deal also with rights holders and all issues, queries and problems that our societies and members have to deal with. The National Council meets every 2 months on your behalf, and the Executive meets at least once every month. And all of these services provided by National Council are done by volunteers for free. No one gets paid for what they do. And a lot of time is given up by these hard-working people on your behalf. And it's a great testament to the many years of hard work of volunteering service that this association is in such a healthy situation and position, and we'll be celebrating our 60th anniversary in a couple of years. And I'd like to say a massive thanks to all on National Council for all their hard work, and especially a big thanks to our Registrar Maureen Heffernan, our Treasurer Myra Nolan, our PRO Kate Furlong, Vice President Fergal Kavanagh, and finally the main man and the boss of AIMS, our National Secretary Frank Foley, for all the work they do. I'd also like to say a big thanks to Francis Leahy, who steps off the National Council again. Francis, we're going to miss you, and hope we'll have you back soon. I'd like to also welcome onto National Council Mikey Flynn from the Eastern Region and Hilary Tracy from the Midlands Region. You're both very welcome. But as it was alluded to in the report earlier on, we'd like to say a massive thanks to Brian O'Neill for his 55 years of service on National Council, which is just phenomenal. Like I said it to Brian last night, like Brian was president of AIMS before I was even born, and he is and he is still here. And Brian O'Neill will forget more about AIMS than I could ever possibly learn. And Brian, AIMS, National Council and all our members are so grateful to everything you've done for AIMS over the years. And I know you're stepping off council today, but I know you'll always be at the end of the phone for us, and your service is much appreciated. Yeah. So thanks very much, Brian, for all that. Over the past 3 years, I've driven 35,000 kilometres in 2 cars on 1 set of tyres, no punctures, seen 108 shows, 26 concerts, 2 virtual, 3 plays, 2 anniversary balls, 2 show launches, a workshop. I judged 1 Strictly Come Dancing. I don't know how, and we had 1 virtual show. I've sat on 6 bursary interview panels. I've been to 2 NOTA conferences in the UK and 1 NOTA summer school. I was so lucky to have been able to address the Oireachtas Joint Committee on Tourism, Culture, Arts, Sports and Media twice. Once to fight for funding and recognition for musical theatre, which we got as an arts form, and the second time to try to improve the opportunities for musical theatre in education in Ireland. And this is something that we believe is coming on board and very, very soon. So it's been a very busy and rewarding few years. I've had an amazing time, seen lots of fantastic shows, and the talent in all our musical sides is something to be so proud of. The standard of shows is improving year on year. And since the return after COVID, and I said this everywhere, there seems to be an extra fire in the bellies of all societies, and the quality of shows and performances is reflecting that. Along the journey of the last few years, I've been blessed and so grateful to have been able to bring all my family members and a lot of friends to shows with me. And I think theatre and musical theatre is an art form to be shared and experienced together. And I love nothing more than going to a show with friends. And I'd have to say at this point, a massive thanks to former President and great friend Colin Moles and Avonmore Musical Society President Padraig Reid, who accompanied me on so many shows all over the country, and for making sure I did get home safe. It was a bit scary sometimes, but we got home safe. Being National President of AIMS opens a whole other side of musical theatre, the theatre world. This chain of office opens so many doors and often gets you the best seats in the house. And even in some cases over the past 3 years, the shows have been delayed because of the power of this chain. And the welcome and respect shown to me personally and as National President is something I will never, ever forget. Thank you all so much for the invitations to your societies. I've met so many wonderful people over the past 3 years as President, and indeed the 2 years as Vice President before that. And I thank you all for the hospitality and for taking care of me and my guests upon arrival. And I have to say at this juncture, because I was told I had to say at this juncture, that I have to thank Mr. William Lacey, who cooked me dinner when I went to see Clane's Legally Blonde. So having the opportunity to speak and address so many casts around the country as President of AIMS is something special and so unreal. I'm the most shyest, nervous people, but we got on and did it because it is special talking to you all. And I love taking the odd photograph and the odd selfie, as you know. And I have tried to post all up on Facebook, but there's a lot more to post. The few months before Christmas were just so busy. There was a lot of pressure going on, and I said at one stage I was out 15 nights out of 17 nights, and on one of those nights, on one of those days, there was 2 shows. It was mental, but I wouldn't change it for 1 second in the world. Please keep travelling to support your neighbouring societies, and make sure to let the societies know that you are there, because it means so much. There's no people like show people. Being part of a musical society is something very special, and it's like a family. We create magical shows every year and tell incredible stories through acting, singing and dancing, and we work with the best production teams and behind-the-scene teams, and our technical teams are just phenomenal. We're providing the opportunity to teach so many skills to people of every age, be that singing, dancing or acting, and we're making so many friendships and building so many confidences, and we're making memories that will last a lifetime. And sadly, we lose some of those friends along the way, but we remember them and keep them in our hearts and carry them on stage with us forever. And something I said last year, and it means a lot to me, is that putting a show on for us all takes about an average of 3 months, where we're nearly living together for 3 months. But then there can be a big gap between shows when we don't see each other. And I would say, please keep in touch with each other when that curtain falls for the first time, because it can be a lonely time when we don't see our friends. So please, I'd ask you to keep that in mind. My musical theatre journey started in 1996 when I joined Avonmore backstage for Fiddler, and it's kept rolling for the last 27 years. It took a turn about 5 years ago when I was told I had to learn to drive. if I ever wanted the chance of becoming national president of AIMS, which I did. And then 3 years ago, it took a massive upturn when I did become president of the most wonderful of organisations, the Association of Irish Musical Societies. In a little while, I'll be handing over this wonderful chain, affectionately known as the Vulgar Jewellery, to the new national president of AIMS. And I wish the incoming president and vice president every success, and I hope they've as much fun as I have had. It's been the greatest honour of my life, and I thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart. But I said, I will hand over the chain, but that won't be it from me. I'll be still here on National Council working for you. I'll be back rehearsing with Avonmore Music Society tomorrow as Old Man Strong in Eurotown, which is on at Easter, if anyone is free. Get the plug in there. And I will travel to see as many shows as possible. To quote the Muppets, life's a happy song when there's someone by your side to sing along. And the AIMS anthem, we are the music makers and we are the dreamers of dreams. And long way we make music and dream dreams. And I thank you all so much. Thanks so much. I said, that's the last time anyone will be standing for me, I've been told. Thank you very much. I think, Fiona's just asked us to hold on 1 second.
Sorry, just
sorry.
to backtrack slightly, I just have a question from Myra that came through on the
sorry,
Facebook
apologies,
Live. Sorry. Just will the Arts Council funding and the audit have a knockdown effect to societies being open to being audited?
Oh, no. The societies are individual.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just asking the question
yeah.
from Marion O'Leary. Thank you.
Okay.
Hang on 1 second.
Mary.
Thanks a million.
Mary Mull, who snuck in at the back there with Richard Lafferty.
Sorry we were late, it was my fault.
Yeah. You're very welcome, Mary.
I just wanted to thank you for being a great president during a very difficult time. I met you a couple of times along the way during your presidency, and you were there in all kinds of weather, in all kinds of places, on all kinds of occasions, in the middle of COVID and not in the middle of COVID. And I think that was a true representation of who you are and your commitment to this organisation. So I just think you're owed a very big thank you from all of us for that.
Thanks very much, Mary. Appreciate that. Thank you. I don't want to say anymore. I will lose it. But thanks so much. It's just a great. You don't know how great an honour it is. Yeah. So we'll move on with the election. Well, not the election yet. We have I didn't even notice this on the agenda earlier on. But this is. I had moved this further down. Yeah, it was on the agenda, and we thought it wasn't.
Sorry, apologies, Maureen.
Yep. Yeah. So then we have proposed amendments to the AIMS Constitution. So there are just a couple of small things. Has people got this proposal? Was it sent out? So we have two changes. Obviously, the national or the AGMs of each region were meant to take place between, I think, the middle of October and the middle of November. But for various reasons and with shows going on, being a busy time, we decided to make it easier that each regional AGM must now be held between the 1st of November and the 15th of December, and voting by proxy is not permitted. So that's the change to Article 5.7. So do we have
Just take that one.
Yeah,
Just take a show of hands.
Yeah. So,
any questions?
so is there any questions or queries on that, or can we take a show of hands if? Yeah. So yes. All in favour? Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh well, yeah. But some. Sorry, we have the official proposal. Well, we take the proposal from council, and then someone second it, and Brian O'Neill seconded it. So then we take a vote on. Are all in favour of? We have a show of hands. Yeah, I think that's okay. Carried. Thanks, Frank. Then Article 6.3. Again, it's a technical change. It's a change, Article 6.3, where the notice shall be delivered in writing to a postal address or sent by electronic transmission to an email address or SMS number recorded by the registrar. And so it's where the word fax has been deleted and they're replaced by SMS. So I know these are small things, but these are technical things for the Constitution. So it's a proposal again by National Council, seconded by Nolan Kelly. And can we have a show of hands if that's okay with the meeting? Yeah, so I think that's all in favour, said aye. Yeah, so, okay, so now we're on to the election of, the first election on the list is the election of Honorary National President for the 23-24 season. Frank.
Now, we've just one nomination from various societies from all the regions in the country, and I won't go through the very, very long list, but I will note them in the minutes. That nomination is for Fergal Kavanagh from the Western region.
So, being only one nomination, I deem Fergal Kavanagh to be elected as National President of AIMS for the 23-24. And don't worry, you'll be hearing lots more from Fergal in a little while, I hope. Yeah. So then we move on to the election of Honorary National Secretary.
Okay, just one nomination for National Secretary, and that's myself. Frank Foley from Kilmainham Inchicore Musical Society, from various societies around the country that I haven't crossed.
Yet.
So just one nomination.
Okay, so with only being one nomination, I deem Frank Foley returned as National Secretary. The next one is, well, the toughest job in the business, the election of our Honorary National Treasurer. I'm sure there's loads of nominations. Yeah.
Yet again, just one nomination, and that's for Moira Nolan from Baldoyle Musical Society and from various societies around the country that will be noted in the minutes.
Okay, so with there being only one nomination for the position of National Treasurer, we'll congratulate Moira Nolan. Now, the number 10 is the election of Honorary National Vice President for 23-24.
So just one nomination for the position of Vice President, and that's Jerry Sweeney, Chair of the Midlands Region and Baldasloe Musical Society, and that from various societies all around the country, and I will note those in the minutes as well.
So with only one nomination for the position of National Vice President, I deem Jerry Sweeney elected as National Vice President. Congratulations, Jerry. And we will let you hear from Jerry in a little while as well. The election of the Honorary National PRO for 23-24.
And just one nomination for the position of National PRO, and that's for Kate Furlong from the Eastern Region and Coolmine Musical Society, from various societies around the country that will be noted in the minutes.
Okay, so with there being only one person nominated for the position of National PRO, I deem Kate Furlong returned as National PRO. Congratulations, Kate. So we're moving swiftly along. Maura, do you want to take this one? The reappointment of the auditors.
I just want to recommend we reappoint McFeely and McKenna as our auditors for the coming year.
It's just a proposer and secretary.
Yeah, so Kathleen and Annette. Okay.
Yeah.
And then now the next item on the agenda is the 2024 AGM. So do we have any proposals from the floor? Apologies. Now we have the nominations for places to host the 2024 AGM. Does anyone want to jump forward? Yeah. Okay. Jamie Kelly is. Now I have been told in dispatches during the that wherever we do go to host the national AGM, there must be plenty of shops in the area, because some members of National Council's partners do not like to travel too far to shops. So I wasn't going to name you, Liz. So we have one proposal for the southeast from Jamie Collins. Sorry, Jamie. Jeannie Mac. Yeah, have we any other proposals from the floor?
We used to do it 1 year in the east, 1 year in another region. I know we've kind of got out of the habit of it, but for what it's worth, I'm suggesting we go to the east.
Okay, Mary Mullen, nominating the Eastern Region.
And I can't vote on it because I'm only an honorary life member, so I won't be upset.
Oh, well, that's all right, Mary, that's okay. So we'll just take a vote then?
Show of
Yeah.
hands.
So,
Any other regions?
any other regions? Well, is it just the two? No. Okay, all right, okay, so we have two, yeah, so we have two nominations then for the next AGM. So we'll take a show of hands first. Jamie was the first nomination for the,
Sorry, can I just ask when was the last time we were in both? Just
oh yes, okay,
Yeah, the Eastern region, because of the COVID, has been in the Lucan Spa for quite a number of years.
but that wasn't open to.
But it wasn't open, just,
Yeah.
and Trim, we were in Trim Castle Hotel. 2017 was that far back. That was the last one in the Eastern region. That's the coupons. Southeast, I'm not so sure. Kilkenny. We're Hotel Kilkenny, but I don't know what year. We're Arklow Bay.
We're in the Arklow Bay.
Sorry,
yes.
2018, I think that was.
2018. So it was the year after Trim.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So look,
Yeah.
Southwest was after that, was it?
Yeah.
No, Southwest were in 2018 was Southeast, and then 2000.
Sorry, just remind people to please use the microphone, or people at home
Yes,
can't hear.
West.
2019
We're in the West.
Yeah.
No, that was 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, 2020.
So the Midlands this year. I
Southwest.
suppose kind of looking at it with regards to kind of a turn from the regions, certainly Northern region, we haven't been in a Northern region for a while. So look, I'm
It's
not,
actually a long time since.
it's been a long time. But I don't know whether,
Okay. Okay, well then, what do we do?
they have to propose it. The
Yeah,
Northern
do you want to
region have
propose?
proposed.
Okay, so Angela Cunningham's proposing Northern Region. Oh, she didn't? Oh, she didn't, sorry, oh, sorry.
Yeah, and we've the Eastern region proposed, so
So we just got
Mary,
between it. Sorry,
Mary,
Mary Smith. Sorry, Mary.
she wants to propose the Northern.
Mary wants to propose the Northern Region, okay. So we have three regions, so we're just gonna have to do a show of hands. Fiona, will you walk the room for this then? Yeah. So we have, so first off, we have, the first proposal we had was the Southeast. So can we have a show of hands for the Southeast? Okay, all right. And then the proposal then for the Eastern region. Anyone who wants the Eastern region? Okay.
As a chair of the Eastern region, has to vote for it.
Okay, and then the Northern region. Just keep your hands up for a second, everyone.
Hold on.
Keep your hands up, yeah, Fiona's counting.
Yeah.
Northern region has it.
Northern region.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So
I presume so. Maureen will need to check that they're reps.
yeah.
Do you want to come and have a look and see who's on?
Okay. Well then, while can we let Fiona deal with the online stuff for a second, and we'll just go on with them. While they're doing that, well, obviously I was going to ask Fiona to talk next, but yeah, I'll ask just.
Fergal's address, incoming address.
No, I was just going to get the choral festival.
Oh, right,
And then
okay.
just hand over.
And then, okay.
So just, as I said, the choral festival is one of our big events that is coming up soon. So I'd like to ask the administrator of the choral festival, Lizzie Heffernan, just to address the meeting, just to give you an update on this year's choral festival.
The dates for this year's festival are Friday, May 19th to Sunday, May 21st. The syllabus and the entry forms are available online to download from the AIMS website. There's 3 competitions that are directed at musical societies in general. Competition C, which is confined to AIMS. Competition F, which is one piece from Sondheim. And Competition I, the musical cameo competition. We'd encourage that all societies from the island look at it and maybe consider coming to New Ross to participate in these competitions. It's a great weekend, full of fun and sing-songs and everything. It is really a great place to be in New Ross for Choral Festival weekend. So, yeah, we just ask that the musical societies consider it. The numbers have been low over the years from musical societies, so we're hoping to have it back bigger and better for 2023. So yeah, the syllabus and the entry forms are available online. So, and the closing date for entries is Friday the 24th of March.
Okay, thanks, Lizzie. And just to say on that, the announcement of the award nominations will be back in New Ross on the Sunday of the Choral Festival this year, and will include all the nominations, including Best Overall Show, will be returning to New Ross for the Choral Festival weekend. So Fiona is back in dispatches with an update.
I have now added on the online votes, and
Dun, dun, dun.
we have the Southeast.
The Southeast for that National AGM for the Southeast next year. Okay. Thanks, Fiona, for that. Fiona, since as you have the microphone, do you want to talk to the lads about the awards weekend, please?
Yep, just the dates for this coming year, the 16th, 17th, 18th of June. The cost for the weekend is €385. We have done our best to keep it as near as possible to last year's figure. The deposit of €200 will be due on Wednesday, the 15th of March. And the balances will be due on the 5th of May, which is 185. The theme for Friday night is Magic to Do. That's lovely, Julie Donnelly. Thanks very much. For those of you that didn't hear, we had a burst of song here to my right. So I think that's where we are at the moment. Forms will be out as soon as we have them available, and they will go out via Maureen Heffernan to all the reps and everybody. So hopefully we'd love to see a biggest crowd as possible. To get ourselves back to normality, where you can't get to the bar or you have to stand on top of one another to queue for everything. I know, it's terrible, isn't it? Anyway, the 16th, 17th and 18th of June. Thank you.
Thanks, Fiona.
Just decided to pause it after the end of the season in July.
Okay, yeah, and that will just be, there's no more substance.
No more,
Yeah, just we had a discussion, as we do each year, regarding our publication show times, and the decision has been made that from June of this year there will be no more editions of show times published and being printed, and there'll be no more issues, and we will look at the future of how we communicate to members and stuff like that, be it through the website, online or whatever. So from today there'll be no more new subscriptions being taken up for show times. Okay, just to let you be aware of that. So if anyone got a renewal notice, and all of the I can't remember now exactly what's the public reviews will be posted up on the website, so you'll be able to see them there. Okay. Now, well, I think that's all. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to hand over the chain of office, and then I'll let Fergal finish out the meeting with AOB as well. So it's time for a handover. You know. got to leg it to the door. Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, your incoming president, Mr. Fergal Kavanagh.
So it's okay, have it in, Mikey. Not my first rodeo. Okay? There you go, right there.
Oh, yeah, got your phone off.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just for a minute, just for a minute, just for a minute.
My first duty is very pleasant to make indeed. If I can get this opened up. Sorry if you want to, yep. If I can get this open.
He's just working on it, guys. He'll be with you a minute. Here, I'll take that. You do.
Oh, we're getting there, yeah. Yes, there we go. The first joyous thing we have to do is to present Rob with his pin for all the fabulous work that he has done as president for the last 3 years. So Rob, here you go. Congratulations.
Sorry, can I just get Maura and Frank into this as well? Thanks.
Right, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for supporting me in my election. It's more than a bit daunting to try to follow after Rob and what he's been doing for the last 3 years. It's been fantastic, and congratulations, Rob. You deserve a good night's sleep, at least for all the traveling that you've been doing over that time. So thank you. I'd also like to thank my own Society 9 Arch for the support they've given me over the years and over the last few months in particular, and all those society in the Western region who have supported me so well when I've been chair and for what they've done over the last few months as well. So thank you very much for those. My first is now I'm going to let Colin Jerry to say a few words as our new Vice President, and then I'll say a few words after that. So.
Thank you. I would just like to thank everybody that nominated me and supported me, particularly the societies in the Midlands and my own society, Ballinasloe, who just happened to be celebrating their centenary this year. So we will have a great year of celebration, hopefully. And that's really all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. I hope that we have lots of fun now over the next couple of years together, and we'll work very well together, I'm sure. I'm following in the footsteps of many presidents over the last 58 years, and I must say the outgoing President Rob most certainly carried out his position in the most fabulous manner and has been a brilliant president for AIMS, and he carried out his role impeccably and with great enthusiasm for the 3 years of these extraordinary times going through COVID. From being quiet to being inordinately busy, he did an incredible job, and thank you very much for that there. I'm looking for those big boots now that I have to put my feet in to follow you. It's going to be a hard task, I know that indeed. I'm taking on the position of President as AIM potentially enters a whole new era. The AIMS officers, National Council and Council have done Trojan work since it was set up in 1965, to get it where it is today. They have developed it and worked on it from that small group that got together, about 5 societies, and it's moved along from there to this incredible organisation that we have today. And particularly, I've got to mention Brian O'Neill, who was, of the 57 years that it's been in existence, Brian was there for 55. I don't think anybody's going to ever beat that, Brian. You can rest assured of that. So fantastic, Brian, and congratulations to you, and enjoy your semi-retirement from it. So take care, and thank you for your work. For many of those years since 1965, our AIMS Council have bemoaned the fact that we in AIMS and musical theatre throughout the country has never got the support from government that it so rightly deserved. So they have passed the mantle on to us. Now in this times that the Arts Council has changed their position, we must stand up and do our job, both as an executive and as a council, to take on the job of that daunting task of trying to get this over the line and get AIMS into a situation that the funding that they're providing, that we can take it and use it well for, one, the organisation, and then for all the societies that, all our member societies, that we can give them the benefit of what we can use and create for musical theatre. It's a daunting task. There's going to be a lot of change and a lot of things that are new to us. But we will get there because we all have the right idea on where we want AIMS to go and how we can achieve that. We will set that off and we will work through that and get us over the line. The Arts Council fully realise that it's being done on a voluntary basis by the people that you all know, the officers, the executive and the members of the National Council. But the Council has made it very clear the importance of this, and we want to maintain that voluntary amateur musical theatre knowledge, talent and experience and love of musicals. And from that strong base, at the same time, create a professional organisation and administrative structure to allow us to continue and improve the services we offer to all our member societies. It's going to take quite a while for this programme to be worked on, to be agreed and then implemented. So I hope I can be instrumental in guiding the project along with our full Executive and National Council through this transitional period to ensure that AIMS and all our member societies will gain the full benefit of this ongoing funding for AIMS. The Arts Council funding is very good in one way, but it is from year to year funding. Hopefully that will change in the years that they will have rolling funding. But the commitment that we seem to be getting from the Arts Council that Niall has told us about is that they want to fund and assist the organisation on a professional basis for musical theatre, and they see us as a vehicle to do it. And hopefully with our efforts and with their commitment, we will get that and bring that along. But it's going to be a couple of years before it all fully rolls into place, and we have got to change our structure to ensure that, because we're going to be getting government funding, that we are in line with what their requirements are. So it will be difficult at times, but I think there's enough enthusiasm and enough will that we'll get it over the line and show to all those previous members for the 55 years that moaned that we couldn't get it, that we actually can get it and get it over. the advantage of the funding that we had in the pilot scheme are quite good. It has reduced costs to our members, and whenever the scheme that has to be that we've adjusted and needs approving, the societies will get that funding coming back in of the amount of money that we pay for the adjudication scheme. And every society, come the end of the year on approval, will be getting the refund as they got last year. And then the other one is the fees for the youth summer school. Again, that is reduced as well. So that's an immediate input, small though it may be, but it's worth about 20,000 to the people involved. But hopefully, as things go along and we get areas that are funding, such as in the workshops of whatever, the cost of those are all going to be brought in under this. So we will continue to look at areas that we can develop this with the use of the funding that is coming. Finally, I would like to say we're all delighted to see a massive amount of societies back on stage this year. And when I look at the calendar coming up, I can understand what Rob was saying about 15 shows in 17 days. It's just very daunting. I see that there are 2 shows next week, but there are 5 shows the following week. So it's going to be a baptism of fire. But I look forward to traveling the country, seeing the societies, seeing the shows, and enjoying what we are also good at and what we can put on stage. It'll be a great pleasure, and I look forward to it. And I will give my wholehearted enthusiasm in getting to as many shows as I possibly can. And I was looking at the AIMS events coming up, the Choral Festival, as we know, 17th and 19th of May, which would be great to go to. And the awards, there are cameo events from the 16th to 18th of June, and the Youth Summer School, all the events of the year coming up in pretty quick succession. So I look forward to all of those occasions, and I look forward to visiting them and giving my full support to. I hope to show you that the trust that you put in me is not misplaced, and I look forward to seeing many of you at those show events throughout the year ahead. And so I'd like to say thank you very much for your support and for your enthusiasm, and I hope I can repay it to you all. Thank you very much. Now, just the last. Right. Any other business? Right. So AOB, any other business permitted by the rules? It says.
Fiona here. I just had a query via Facebook about banquet tickets for the Saturday night down in Killarney, and banquet tickets are always available, subject to numbers. Really, the more people we have that go for the full weekend, the less banquet tickets we have available. So if we have huge numbers booked in for the weekend, then there are less banquet tickets to go around, and we have to look after nominees first. So whatever we have after that will certainly be on sale, but they won't go on sale until after all the full weekenders and the nominees are looked after first. And just several other comments on the Facebook live here, that with thanks to Brandon for all his work on show times from various different people too online.
Okay, thank you. Right. This is not a fix. This is not a fix.
I couldn't be outdone. I would just like to say on behalf of everybody a big thank you to Richard, to Mary Smith, to Frank, and to all the members throughout the year that have kept show times going. So thank you all very much indeed from everyone in Ames. Thank you.
Any other business? I'm getting off light for my first thing. That's really good. Oh, okay.
Just to maybe take workshops. Just with regards to, we had mentioned, say, with workshops from the Arts Council funding. So there's various workshops happening during the year. Societies have been in contact with me, and we're trying to organise maybe professionals and book venues and the whole lot with them. So there's a couple coming up organised already. There's a workshop on hair and makeup hosted by the Eastern Region and Trim Musical Society with Ali Murphy. That's going on in Trim Castle Hotel on the 5th of March. Duncan Brigaton is doing a choral workshop. That's the 5th of May, and venue is to be advised. And that's also organised through the Eastern region. It possibly will be Marino Institute of Education. There's also in the Western region, a possible choral workshop with Duncan as well, and dates and venue have to be finalised there as well. Carrigaline Musical Society and Liz Hess was on with regards to a choral workshop for societies around the Cork and Southwest region. So that David Hayes has offered to do that workshop, but dates and venues still have to be organised with regards to that. We have Shane Farrell doing a vocal workshop with a new group called Kilkieran Youth Musical Society. I think they're outside Baldasloe, and a date has to be organised for that. There is also Gary Redpath is organising a workshop in the Northern region with regards to voice and stagecraft, and dates and venue have to be organised for that. Okay, so if anybody else with regards to kind of a regional basis, because it's Arts Council money, it kind of has to be open to everyone. Okay, so any other group or region interested in hosting a workshop, just drop me an email. Okay.
Okay. If there's no other items, then I will declare the meeting closed.
Excellent. Excellent. Now, there's tea and coffee available in the Loch Ennell suite, which is downstairs on the right-hand side after reception. And it's just if we could clear the room quite quickly and have a quick meeting of National Council to just go through some housekeeping and appointments.